I'm gonna have to switch it up. They don't want me to say that. But I will say this. I learned that you can look deeper into somebody that you think is evil, and you automatically suspect. Yeah, I see what uh, uh, um, federal agents and all that have to go through now. When you got to look deeper into something, and you say, they say this about this person and that about this person, and things match up when you look at it. Things totally match up. But when you look deeper, you realize these people was misguided, these people was brainwashed, these people was tortured, these people was pretty much reprogrammed to the point of no return. And you realize before that all that happened to this person, they were pretty good people, bro, and had the potential to be either good moms or good dads. Or just good individuals. And it breaks you down. It's almost like somebody scouting for potential individuals to turn them evil. That's why I say revelation a lot. I say revelation a lot because it just match up. It's just like Revelation, I ain't read it in years, but Revelation, I think it was like talking about how a lot of people would turn bad, you know. And you look at that, and then you look at the Get Out movie, how they just, when they take the brain, it really is just reprogramming. Well, it's deeper than that now. It's deeper than that. And they probably all doing some taking the brains. but from what I see, for the most part, it's reprogramming. And you just never know. You can never judge a book by its cover, man. It's like they put these people in these situations and they park them there. And when I was dealing, that's another experience I had. When I experienced that experience where I had to live, pretty much stay at a drug house, them people treated me good. They took care of me. And I really didn't want to be there, and they knew I didn't need to be there. And they at first wondered why I was there. And then they realized my story was checking out, and I was really just done wrong. But they was also part of some of them was also part of the situation, so, but they still helped. But I talked to them, and I learned a lot from these people, the people that was coming in and out this house. And I seen how, I just seen something, bro. I've been in the streets my whole life. I seen something that I never noticed my whole life. I seen, like, when it comes to seeing, I seen how you can participate in it to have fun. You can do it out of moderation. You can do this, do that, do this. But I seen how once you get binded, I seen the entity. Almost like when Jesus would say, put it like this, when Jesus would say, release her, or release him, demon, or something like that, and they heal. I see that part. I ain't got the power to do that what Jesus did, but I see that part. I can see that demon that's bothering this person, you know, because they done binded themselves to this entity. No matter what thorn it is in your flesh, I can see it. I don't have, and it can see me and notice me, but I don't have the power at the moment. I ain't elevated enough to just tell it to release or just make it leave. I'm elevated enough for it to notice me and wanna attack me through other people, but I'm not. They want to, but they won't. But they want to, you know. And it's actually beautiful. I think it's all beautiful. Because when you get to this point, you can really see what's controlling people and what's making people do the thing they do. And it get discouraging. Because you be like, some of these people ain't bad, bro. It's like you can tell it's revelation because I mean I like to say revelation because it's so many people. Back in the day, like I said, you can separate the blocks and you can tell who would do what, who would do what. You go to this group, you want something done, you go to that group, you want something done, you go to this group. You can't hardly do that. Now it's like everybody doing something. Everybody. Women and men, kids too. Everybody on something. Doing something. And I'm talking about would do something. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, unbelievable. I never seen it to that degree before. Ever. And then you got the part in the Bible where it say the devil here to kill, steal, and destroy. Well, actually, the devil get activated when that energy forms. And the devil, when that devil, the vessel for that devil is already here. And this devil, I like to say, isn't Satan, but it's the devil. And they deal with each other, but it's the devil. But this devil's job is to just run the train, lead the train. Lead the train. And it's like when the energy get that contaminated, when the energy get that bad, this devil activates. And this devil is luring. Everything about this devil is luring. I don't care how this devil look, it's luring. And it got these genetics about it. I met one energy in this energy that freaked me out. When I thought me and my flame was pretty powerful, I met this white girl. And we became friends. But she would say, she would talk to me and my flame. Like, and she was a small person. Wasn't fragile though, but she was a small person, but she was tough. And she would tell us, stop acting like that, stop doing that, you don't have to do that. She would talk to us like she was a sergeant or something. Like she knew, but she was a sinner like us. Weird, man. Weird, like, it's like when I meet these people, or we meet these people, it's like the energy inside these people talking to all of us is talking to each other. And she'd be like, you ain't got to do that. I learned about an ability I had in front of these people, in front of them. I said, oh, watch this. I think I can do this. And I said, activate. And she was like, you ain't got to say no activate. And I was like, she said it like she know, you know. And come to find out later on, I realized I didn't have to say activate. You know what I'm saying? All I had to do was whatever I was doing, and it worked. But it was like she wasn't confused about it. It's like she knew about everything. And then she told me, she said, you and I didn't even know that girl was my flame. But the thing about it is, she was one too. The white girl was one as well. But she wasn't the one to deal with something. Something went wrong. It was just like she knew it. She was older than us. And she said, you and her are built so different. And I'm like, why would she talk like that? She said, you and her, your forest and her garden always changes. Man, who gonna talk to you like that? Who gonna talk to you like that? I don't care if her and her was together. She didn't know me. She didn't know me. I mean, we would stay together. Women would come stay with me and stuff. And I might, get dressed and stuff in front of her. We didn't have no sexual activity together. None. And she was like, you and her forest and garden always changes. Man, that threw me off. Then in the same group of people, the stars was aligned this night. It was so many stars in the sky, more stars than I ever seen in a long while. And that dude said it's time. It was a dude with us. He said it's time. And that same lady was out there. And that night, it was a total of 7 Capricorns and so many Scorpios and some Pisces. It was like a lot of us in one spot. And the dude said that he was looking at the star. He said, it's time. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, they finna start choosing the chosen ones. I said, what are y'all? Y'all tripping. And she was like, they were like, you gonna do it? Cause he was supposed to be the one. He said, I'm not gonna do it. And I was like, what are y'all talking about? They said it was something that going on that night. It was a portal open. And it was something about the 144,000. It was like 6 years ago. And I just thought they was high and tripping. But, nope. He said, look around you. He the one that brought it up. He said, it's 7 Capricorns in one spot. And all of our birthdays about the same. All of our birthdays were literally about the same. Close. He said, that's just like indigo kids. And the same went for the other zodiacs. And he said, I wouldn't do it because I love what I do too much. I ain't gonna say what he did. So, you know, you have them kind of encounters and you meet these kind of people that will, some of these people probably will kill you. But it wasn't like that with us. We all from bad. We was all from or in some pretty bad situations. So it wasn't like that with us. We were just hanging out. And this dude was like I said, when you meet these people and you think because of who they are, you judge a book by its cover. And that guy was white, you know. It was just half and half, really, black and white though. But these people, in particular, that I'm talking about, were white. The girl was white and the dude was white. But they was tough though. They wasn't no. They was tough. Like Mark Wahlberg, I guess you could say something like that. People that's born around done dealt with a lot of dark stuff. I ain't been in a lot of dark areas. And the dude was like, so it's like when you see this kind of stuff and you think you know somebody, you judge a book by its cover. These people were really pretty good people. They stories, if you hear their real story, you realize what really happened. And these people know so much. I guess they probably was with organizations and stuff like that though. But they probably was Easter. And now that I say anything about it, they probably were Easter stars as well. But it's like they just knew stuff. It's like they just knew stuff. But like I said, that one woman seen me and my flame, and she said, it was like she knew her. And she said, I don't know. It was like she was something over there. It was like all of us was in a group over there in the spiritual realm. It was almost like she was like an overseer or something. You know, I asked God about that, and it be like that. And God, that's when God told me warrior angels are built, they go through a lot. They go through a lot. And they can come out, but they have to bring themselves out. But their mission is different on earth. That's when God told me that. But like I said, you see these people, man, and you automatically, it's so, what I'm trying to say is there's so many people losing their life to, they're getting in tune, they're getting in these situations where they stuck, they sacrifice, they unalive, and these is really good people, man. So when they get in these situations, it's like, that's the gateway, that's the door. Like they say, the weed is the doorway to do. Well, the doorway is them traps somehow. When your family and nobody want to help you, or can't help you, or ain't supposed to help you, and you automatically, where you gonna go? Cause if you married Your wife and husband could trap you. Your wife or husband could trap you. Or your parents could trap you. Man, if it's some covenant stuff going on and they are involved in it, you're going to wind up trapped. It's like I see something I want to explain on here and I can explain it, but I know better to explain it. And when people say true, Michelle, I can say I can put up all the people that got addiction problems, all the people that got sex problems, any normal street problem that you used to seeing in the street. I can put all these people together and I can tell you out of 100%, at least 70% of them is in tune. And what I mean by in tune, been sacrificed, and they probably don't even know it. And that's a lot. And so I got a chance to look back, and I talked to them since I really wasn't getting that high. I talked to each and every last one of them, and I asked them, I want to hear their story. And man, some of these people were just, some of these people are our greatest scientists. Some of these people are our greatest doctors and lawyers. These people have been sacrificed. They were black sheeps in their families. Like this one woman, I used to give her a hard time on previous lecture, probably 4 or 5 years ago. But I stopped there because she really was a good friend of mine. And we really cared a lot about each other. But she was mean. She was meaner than the flame. She was a white woman, so it was kind of funny. She was meaner than the flame, bro. And I guess it's a purgatory thing. I don't know. And I see people try to look at me, men try to look at me and say, and like they know me and and these women, bro. These women wake up in the middle of the morning on you, clean you up. I ain't gonna say she was, but some of them will. These women, some of these women ruthless now, and that's partially my fault. Cause I was always drawn to tough women like that. I ain't like that no more though. Thank God. Oh wait, you gotta sleep with both your eyes open, boy. You gotta be ready to hold your neck. You gotta be ready to block your neck, bro. But I rode with her. Me and her went somewhere, and me and her went somewhere. Now that I sit here and think about it, I think she was hitting on me. I just didn't realize that she took me down this dark road. But her house was down this dark road. She had a mansion. I said it was a mansion. It was a beautiful home. It was like a ranch house. And she said when she got caught up, and when she got caught up in that life, she just gave the house to her family. I mean, gave it away, signed it over. She had a couple homes. Said she liked the life she was living in. Same thing the dude said. These people were brilliant people, man. Great people. And then I met another girl. And somehow she had the ability to tell an angel off top. She could just come up and look at you and say, yeah, I just want to see this angel before it fall off, basically. Wow. Such like she could see the angel. She was like such a beautiful angel. And she said she'll just stare at you for a while. And she automatically assumed because of the area you at, I guess everybody else failed. She was like, she'll travel. She'll travel just to say, I want to see this angel. And these people got to be with organization. Probably just fell off. But you get in some of the organizations, you get the freedom, more freedom than the average person. You get away with a lot. And you'll lose yourself when you like that. When there's no order no more, you'll lose yourself. That's why you should always recognize karma and energy. Just like I got one of the dudes that I actually liked him. His name was Mike. I thought Mike was cool. Mike was funny. But he had a guardian angel. His guardian angel with somebody strong. I ain't gonna say it, but I don't know. It was something special about these people, and even his girlfriend, her too. And I even look. I'm somehow I can look at YouTube or look at a movie or something. I can just see these people. You know how they show the pictures, past life people and stuff. I see the same group of people in another life. Same group of people, including myself, in another life. Like that. Mama was a Rolling Stone. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Beat that red cover. And it looked like I'm in the front of it, like something like that right there. If y'all seen that, it's just the beat. It said Papa was a Rolling Stone. Right there. And I seen all them, no matter what nationality they is. And it's like, so one time, this same group of people, the last time I was dealing with drugs, these people would literally cry. And I just got sick of doing drugs. I said, I ain't gonna keep doing drugs. Every time I do drugs, people cry, man. People were crying, bro. These people don't cry. Just sitting there just crying. Just crying. When I do drugs, I said, I stopped. I said, I ain't gonna keep doing this. Every time I sing just a little bit, everybody crying, bro. And I said, I just stop. You can't have no fun for nothing. And see, when I do it, I'm already, trying to keep my head above the water, say, have a good time. You know how you feel when you're doing drugs. You don't want to ruin your own, high. Man, as soon as I start doing the drugs, these people crying and going on. What you crying for? Oh, nothing. And running rooms. It's like the spiritual energy talking to you. They just talking to you. It's like they know you and you don't know you. And it always have happened. I just say, I forget it. I just heal. I already didn't want to do drugs anyway. Just heal. I'm tired of dealing with it. Same thing with sex partners. If somebody sent them to me and they had these hidden motives, never make it to the second base. They go start crying, bro. I said, God, you got to go. You got to go with your hidden motives. You got to go. Same thing. Same thing. For the most part, though, like when women come and they running from whatever's outside that's out there, they'll just come here because they know ain't nobody gonna come here with all that. And clean themselves up and lay in my arms and cry. Cause I know them to be asleep anyway. They'll probably, pop up 1, 2 in the morning, which is always bad times, always trouble time. But I used to open up my door if you was a female. I ain't even thinking about you if you was a male. I'm gonna open the door, but I'm gonna tell you gotta go somewhere else. But female, I pretty much know everybody. They clean themselves up, and we'll lay down, and they'll tell me what's going on, and they'll just cry themselves to sleep. That's it. That's it, man. But I just saying, it hurts to know, it's discouraging to know that I want to do these people know that out of 100%, 70% of them have been sacrificed. And that's why they stayed on the drugs. That's why they stayed doing the sex activities. No matter what color they are. You know what I'm saying? Some of them didn't know they were slayers, and the enemy did. And they still didn't know it after the enemy broke them. And now that one girl that had that ability to see angels, she was a little freaky, but not like sexually. It was just, her ability was scary, heightened, like, She didn't just look at it. It's like they'll call her, go make sure this person is an angel. She just come up and look at you and say, yeah. And these like I said, these organizations are powerful. They know all this stuff. These are all a lot of their secrets. That's why I don't get into it. All organizations ain't bad. It's good and bad. Maybe they give you some kind of test and see if you lose yourself. I don't know. But they know about all this. But they were sending these people to me. Cause it was like somebody was betting on me to get turned out by a particular drug. But what they didn't know, they didn't believe the stories that I said when I was in the street at 12 and stuff. Drugs, whatever. You know, that ain't gonna happen. And I guess they know now. I ain't never like nothing to control me. You gotta be a sexy woman. You gotta be my woman. Tell me to sit down. Or you better be God, more importantly. But yeah, I want to say more, and I know this is all over the place, and it need to be. But it's just something for all of us to just think about when we see a lot of these people. You see all these people, a lot of these people on corners and stuff. You better know. You better know a lot of them could possibly be black sheeps, and they probably was sacrificed. What I learned from what I learned thus far about black sheeps, them are the sacrificial lambs. Them are the ones that's finna get sacrificed. The ones I met, you know what I'm saying, by their own family and loved ones. Cause like I said, the other lady that I met had told me about me and my flame. Me and her was kicking it. And I told her she was my flame. She the one told me, yeah, but we ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the one. The one that's coming though. And she must have knew her or something. That's the way that girl talked to me. I thought it was weird. And next thing you know, I met the flame. And then she said she ain't the one. Then they were fussing about it. Did her two about to get into it about it. I ain't even gotta have no real encounter with them. And they'll be, I don't know what that is. Women is overprotective of me. They can do something I won't meet them. They can do stuff and they can take stuff from me, and they'll literally block somebody else from coming to me if they see any hidden motives. And they stuck in that window. You can't have them neither, and you can't have them neither, and you can't have them neither. Just like that, bro. Women love me so much so they don't want me to be with nobody. Want me to stay alone. I asked God about it. He said it's the jacket. Protection. That's how the dark protect you, you know. But he said he's gonna take it off one day, sometime. If he see me in my feelings, he'll tell me. One day it'll change. When my Father God tell me one day or sometime, that means it's gonna be a while, a long while. A very long while. Because now that I've been in this situation, I know he just remolded me. Like, how do most people act when someone cheat on them? How do most people act when someone hit them with a low blow? How do most people act when someone's trying to kill them? And it's like them are all the attacks that I'm constantly getting all the time until I learn how to react better towards them. Because it's really just redirecting. It really ain't what you think it is. It really ain't what these people trying to kill me. They really trying to steer you this way, or steer you this way, or steer you this way. And that's the way it go. And I'm learning that, bro. And it's like the more I learn that and the more I accept that, the more I advance and elevate. And sometimes I feel like even some old energy is starting to elevate and starting to, you know, look, I ain't met nobody, I ain't seen nobody in a long time, but I feel like a lot of old energy is starting to change and get better. Like I said, I might have said some things in the past that might have been probably heartfelt and hurtful to y'all, but it wasn't to hurt y'all, it was to elevate y'all and to break y'all. That was one of the ways I had to learn myself in these slums. And I learned when people tell you the truth, sometimes the way they tell it to you will make you remodify you. That's all. But I had to stop that because I realized everybody ain't like me. I realized that from my grandma. But my grandma tough. And I just felt like, okay, since my grandma taught me a lot, I could do this and do that. But I see now a lot of people ain't that tough. Because hell, I ain't as tough as my grandma. And like my grandma told me, she thought I was very abusive too because of all the lies. And when I was taking care of my grandma in hospice, my grandma said, I thought you were like my boy. You a pretty good N-word, ain't you? You know what I'm saying? My grandma said, I am so sorry. And she was like, I wish. I said, you wish what, Grandma? She said, I wish I'd have told you I love you more. That's what she told me. Because my grandma wasn't the type to talk like that. Loves and hugs? Hell no. Nah, she wasn't with the loving or the hugging. So that's how my grandma was. And she said before she died, she said, I wish. And I was like, you wish what? Because she stopped. Like she wasn't going to say it. She said, I wish I had told you I love you more. Because when I took care of my grandma in hospital, you got to clean them and everything. You know? So, and that's when she told me, she said, you are pretty good. I thought you was bad because I was having problems with women when I was dealing with her. And she was listening to how I was handling it. And she heard me handle one situation. She said, I thought you were like your uncles and your daddy now. She said, you pretty good, ain't you, boy? I said, I would think so, I thought so. But obviously I wasn't. She said, oh, never mind that, they just bumps in the road. Things will make it way back around. But, yeah, that's what she told me. She said, I am so sorry. I really thought you were just like that. I guess that's the way she was trying to tell me, I got you in something. You finna find out your life will be really tough. And I apologize. When you do find out, I apologize. Before you do find out, I apologize. But none of that's gonna make me change the way I feel about my grandma. None of it. Or my grandpa. They had their ways, but I'ma always love them no matter what. Always. Always. I told you when I was young, they held me up like Simba to the sun. They said, yeah, because they were going to get rid of me or something when I was born. And my dad went to him and said, we decided to keep him. And my grandparents held me up to my mama told me about that story. But, and my grandpa and them just made sure they stayed close to me all the time. So, you just never know, y'all. Don't never judge a book by its cover. It ain't working. Yeah, it ain't working. I'm sitting back now thinking, I'm like, there's a good possibility I done met more good people in the street than I have in the legal life. And that's sad.